Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 14th. It's April. It's the year 2026. All of that is completely debatable, but that ship's done sailed. Let me ask real quick. How's the audio? Good to go? 5x5? Let me know. 5x5. Because many times I've made videos with the microphone not on. Good. There we go. Took a minute. There we go. All right. Cool. All right. What is up? Truth Rising. What is up? Puffin on the radio 6021. What is up, man? Rodster 3006 30-6. What's up, man? I don't know what that means. RFB, finger red number. I don't know what that means. Stephen BLL, whatever. Some of these names are too tough. Plus, I'm not really paying attention. Okay, we have a huge announcement right here. USA Ape 357 was formerly Bear Jew. So there you go. And he's still a mod. So there, as they say, is that. Jimmy Legs, what's up? M. St. G. Jamesy 89, Sheila Humphreys 33, so forth and so on. M Seeker 369, what's up, man? Lance Johnson, what is up, man? All right, there's a lot of people in here real quick. It's been a while, right? Been a little bit. Been a little piece of time has come and gone since I went live, but let's just get into it. How about that? Check this out, because this is ridiculous, but man, it's right on point. I mean, this is pretty much the lawless country we live in right now when something like this is actually accurate.
Today, the United States held peace negotiations with Iran, but then just an hour ago, President Trump posted, if Iran doesn't agree to peace, the greatest military of all time, ours, will F Iran right up their Strait of Hormuz. Assalamu alaikum, you crazy bastards. Now, I completely made that up. But isn't it kind of disturbing that you all totally believe that he had posted that?
So that's crazy. It's funny, but it's also crazy because he's not wrong. The president is just completely, Trump is just completely out of pocket, out of control. It's like the last 4 years with Biden. America is a Freemasonic experiment. It's been written. Everyone knows about it. It's a Freemasonic experiment, and an experiment has to come to an end. And it did so incredibly well. They turned us into people that you wouldn't want to mess with America because there's a gun behind every blade of grass, and Americans don't stand for anything. Anybody messes around, they'll throw down. There's a problem. Well, that's gone. And to prove that that's gone, look at the last 4 years with Joe Biden, the robot, the puppet, whatever that was presented as our president, the shuffling old, sleepy old guy, whatever. Pronouns, transgender, stuff we warned about 10, 12, 15 years ago that actually came to fruition so bad. They were just having fun with it. After they pulled off the pandemic, after they mandated that you lock down, etc., and everybody did it, they knew that they had everyone. You know what I'm saying? So they're just having fun with it now. And Trump is... I can't explain this enough. I've met a lot of you now. I finished my list finally. It took me, I think it's been 9 months. 9 months. But I mean, I've had issues. I've had problems. Things happen. When you're traveling around for 9 months, life happens. And it did. But whatever. I finally met up with absolutely everybody except one person, Ray Kurt, and then Sally in Connecticut, and one other person, but those are where I'm at when I get back to the Northeast, if that ever does actually happen. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I did meet everybody for the most part. Let me see if I can do this properly. I met up with a doctor right here. There she is in front of my truck. As you can see by the way she's dressed, she's a doctor at her leisure on a Sunday because she had no idea that I was going to roll up and knock on her door. But I did. And I'm following this all up right now. So I have to be very cautious that I don't accidentally KO this live stream. I went to meet with a guy named Ray. His last name is K. And I sent him emails. And for like 4 or 5 days, I wasn't getting any emails. That doesn't happen. I get 300 to 800 emails a day. Not all of them are pertinent whatsoever at all. A lot of them are just nonsense. But these two people, I'm like, dude, I'm in Florida. I was just in Iowa. And then 8 days later, I'm back in Florida for some other reason. But strangely enough, the two people I had forgotten to go visit in Florida, somebody else brought me back for an entirely different reason. And it put me within like 16 miles of both of these people. So I met up with Ellen, the woman standing in front of my truck. And I tried to go to Ray's house, but he didn't return my email. So I went to his address to just show up like I did at Ellen's house. And it brought me to like a strip mall or like it didn't bring me to a house. There was no residence. So I left. And 2 days later, he just emailed me today saying, "Oh, I just got your email." And it's like, brother, I'm in Mississippi, man. I don't see myself coming back to Florida for any reason whatsoever at all. You know, unless something catastrophic happens and I have to be there, but whatever. At any rate, I finally finished meeting up with everybody, and it does kind of bum me out how many people are still just not understanding what's going on. You know what I mean? Some people just are not understanding what's going on. And I have to refer back to the Economist 26 cover. There isn't going to be an Economist 2027 cover that's going to be pertinent to anything. These guys are not stopping what they're doing whatsoever at all. There's the peace talks they're having. According to all the information I can get from people that live in that area in the Middle East, that can actually get emails out, there are no peace talks. It's just Trump saying words, as everyone should understand by now. You know what I mean? It's just Trump quacking. And it's astonishing to me that in the time that he's been president, he's now moved up on the Forbes list of billionaires because he's now $3.6 billion richer than he was when he became president. That's cool. That's cool. You know, $3.6 billion richer because he's doing scams and insider trading and everything. And what kills me is so many people are ready, but so many people just still don't see it. They don't see it. They're acting like, you know, down the road, next year, some other time, blah, blah. Trump is the last president. Everything we've ever told you about, they've allowed us to have. Anything that's been on the internet that we've ever reported on or talked about or made videos out of, etc., they've allowed us to have. And Trump being the last president, Barron Trump's adventures with Elon and the Dawn and etc., we found that because they wanted us to find it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that. But a lot of people are ready. A lot of people are definitely ready. I've got a plan, but I mean, I'll end up wherever I'm supposed to end up. But I'm planning on pushing back north again to Farmer Maloney's area. But let me show you this real quick, okay? Because I got a lot of stop sharing. I've got a lot of things I want to share here. So let's get to this. All right, this is an absolute trip. This is a trip, okay? I've got the volume turned up on this so you can hear this, but this is me at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm awakened by the most frightening growling noise I've ever heard. See if you can hear it, because I'm pretty sure you can. Did you hear that? It's right there. It happens twice. Ready? hopefully you were able to hear that, but that scared the stuffing out of me. 3 o'clock in the morning, something is growling so loud, and I'm listening to it. And I mean, I just woke up. It's 3 in the morning, so I've been out for probably 4 or 5 hours. Okay, I'm listening to it, and then I had the presence of mind. And fortunately, I literally had a cell phone signal. I'm in Florida. I took a dirt road in Florida to find a place to park for the night, and drove down and down and down. And I found that I was the road was really rough. I had to put it in 4-wheel drive. I usually don't have to put my truck in 4-wheel drive. I put it in 4-wheel drive. I get to the bottom. There's an old boat ramp down there that's all overgrown. There's no tire tracks. Nobody's been around. And I'm like, awesome. This is perfect. This will work. 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear this growling, and I can't see anything outside. I can't see out of the screens of my tent whatsoever at all. I had the presence of mind to go to text, when is alligator mating season? And it popped up April to whatever it was. And then I said, do alligators growl? And it said, when mating, alligators not only growl, but they'll put out a deep guttural growl. And I'm like, there it is. I must have had an alligator under my truck, because it was an absolute trip. But let's get back to this video, because I want to show you something real quick in this particular video, so you'll understand that Iran isn't, it's a funny thing. Everyone, I find myself doing it because it's human nature. I find myself going, go ahead, Iran, give Israel hell. But you can't forget, Iran is part of the entire system. Everybody is playing their part. People in America will die. People in Iran will die. People in Israel will die. But it won't be any of the important Illuminati New World Order people. But in case people forgot, this is the Ayatollah, the one that I said died like a martyr. He died like an OG, from what they tell us. Ayatollah Khomeini, the Americans are coming in, the bombs are coming in, get into the shelter, and from what the story says, he went to the building that he knew was going to get bombed. He sat down with all his people and had a meal, and then died. And he died a martyr. And in Islam, dying a martyr is a big, big deal. Whether that's true or not, that's the story. But I found myself going, you got to admire that. You got to admire that. It's dumb, but I do it. You know what I'm saying? I've done plenty of dumb things just like that to prove a point, even though, my nose got broken 17 times in my life. You know why? Because I'm dumb. You know what I mean? But remember this. During the lockdowns, the Ayatollah did exactly what everybody else did.
We safeguard the international system with the United Nations at its core, support the multilateral trading system centered on the World Trade Organization. We should advocate for equal and orderly multipolarization of the world, inclusive economic globalization, and
it's going to get to the Ayatollah. This is from James Corbett's latest video, where he's explaining how everybody, all the countries that are enemies, China and Iran and Israel and America and Russia, they're all sitting right here. And the president of China was talking about how we need a new world order. But it's going to get to the Ayatollah in a second. So stand by.
Promote the construction of a more just and equitable global governance system.
In my speech at the 70th session of the UN General Assembly, I mentioned that we should develop a comprehensive approach to addressing the climate change problem. In this context, let me affirm once again our proposal to convene a scientific forum under the aegis of the United Nations, which will serve the platform to discuss various problems, not only those linked to climate change, but also those linked to depletion of natural resources and degradation of the human habitat. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that through concerted efforts, we will be able to develop a new climate agreement that will replace the Kyoto Protocol and that will serve the interests of all states and peoples after 2020.
So let me tell you a little secret real quick. If I have the ability with my resources to discover that climate change is a complete and utter 100% lie, the biggest lie on earth, I bet you that Putin probably could figure that out as well. But even though he's the bad guy, He's still part of the New World Order, or he wouldn't be there right now. And he is. But let's get to the Ayatollah real quick.
Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has received his first dose of a homegrown COVID-19 vaccine, amid an effort by the country to speed up its vaccination rollout. TV showed Khamenei receiving what it said was the Coviran Barakat vaccine, developed by a state-affiliated conglomerate and approved for public use earlier this month.
So everybody, think about this, okay? Think about this. According to the World Health Organization in the United States, the World Health Organization is basically the United States because the United States pays for it, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation paid for it. So all of a sudden, these guys come out and tell the entire world, we hate Iran, we hate Iran. According to General Wesley Clark, for years, there were 7 countries in 5 years, and Iran was the last one to fall. That's the one we got to take out. Iran knows this, okay? In a real world where they're really the bad guys and we really hate each other, when I see you, I'm going to get you really good and so forth and so on. In a real world, all of a sudden, this worldwide pandemic shows up out of nowhere. The entire world has to lock down. Iran would go, yeah, this is a trick. This is total bullshit. This is America trying to get us to take some sort of crazy vaccine for some crazy thing that, you know what I mean? It doesn't even, him taking the vaccine for all the people to see, so they all take an mRNA vaccine, just tells you right there, he's part of it, was part of it, always is part of it. We wouldn't be this close to Agenda 2030 actually hitting the streets running. We wouldn't be this close and have the wrong people in place. They already took care of everybody they needed to take care of. Whoever had to go away, went away, one way or the other. But on that, I digress. Let me get back to this right here, because we have yet again another scientist that has completely disappeared. It's crazy. It's crazy. Every one of these people has left their house. They leave their car keys. They leave their cell phones that have been all completely factory reset, and then they just disappear. And almost all of them are just walking away, and they just totally disappear. In this day and age, you can't just disappear. You can't just disappear unless you work for the agencies that are going to be required to pull off a staged alien invasion. And wouldn't you know it, everybody involved in this is either involved in super black ops weaponry that would be used during a staged alien invasion, like the Rod of God, which is a 25-foot long piece of tungsten the size of a telephone pole. Tungsten is incredibly hard metal. Dropped from however high up they can get a helium-powered satellite. I don't even know what it is, 30 miles, 40 miles. You drop something that big, and it comes straight down, according to the testing, it would hit the ground and appear to be a nuclear weapon. And that's all there is to it. Wow, I just heard the craziest low frequency ever. Just, oh, dude, it's a down south fella expressing his taste in music with really big subwoofers. I just caught it. Cool, because I thought I was being effed with. That would suck. At any rate, welcome to my life. Where I'm sitting right now, I am literally 25 feet off the ground on in a building that's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 massive timbers. And where I'm sitting right now in Mississippi is exactly the town where Hurricane Katrina made a landfall, and half of this neighborhood was completely wiped away. That's where I am. So there you go. At any rate, let's get back to this, because I got a lot. I mean, I got so many things open right now. It's crazy. Let me show you this. For those that think I haven't made any videos in quite a while, I've gone live a couple of times. And you see what I mean? I went live on Patreon because I can simply open my phone and just start yammering, and that's exactly what I did. And right, as you see, I did a video of exactly where I'm sitting. Right.
So I'm at an Airbnb,
right this second.
Down in the Mississippi Delta, it is pretty amazing here. This right here is exactly where Hurricane Katrina landed. And you see my truck down there? You see the house up there? It's a lot of stairs from there to there. And this place was, the water was up to the building right there.
So you see what I'm saying? So I haven't gone live on YouTube because I have to go through, I'm on StreamYard right now. I have to go through StreamYard and then set it up just to go live on YouTube. And I just recently discovered that I can just start quacking right into my phone and people can hear me. And I've done that a few times in the last week. So I did go live. It did happen. It was a thing. If you didn't get the memo, I'm very sorry about that. At any rate, let me start clearing some of these up real quick. Let me see what else. Oh yeah. All right. Let's get to this. Because this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous, but it's Trump, man. This guy is out of his mind. Everybody's seen this. Now, somebody originally posted this. The kid's name escapes me right now. He had posted this. And Trump was like, I wasn't pretending to be Jesus. I was simply being a doctor. Well, yeah, that's fun to say. That's all. It's all good. It's all fun and games. But if you look up here in the original post, there were 4 soldiers. And in the new post that Trump just posted, there's 3 soldiers and then a 3-horned demon type looking thing. Not too good, but Trump is the magician. Yeah, you see that? This represents so very many different things, but this would probably be Lucifer and the 4 horsemen. I mean, they're telling you. It couldn't possibly be any more in your face than it is right now. These guys aren't messing around. They don't care if people know because not enough people know. And the people that do know, not enough of them are really taking this seriously because of that old thing called hope. Hope. They hope something. Listen, we're at the end of the road. This right here should tell you everything you need to know. You take this picture right here, the cover of the magazine, you put a mirror right there, and these 2 crossed swords turn exactly into the Freemasonic symbol, the compass and square. You see what I'm saying? But here's the one thing. You see this right here? Here's the one thing that I really didn't pay much attention to, but this is the law. This is the law, and it's broken. There's no more law. And that should be so obvious right now that we are no longer dealing with a country that the laws only apply to us. The president, since becoming president, is now $3.6 billion richer. He's moved up, I think, 110 spots on the Forbes 400. I mean, really? This was a declaration right here. And this cover doesn't tell you there's going to be another cover. This basically tells you everything you need to know. We're currently blockading the Straits of Hormuz with United States ships, which is causing massive friction with China. And you just saw the president of China explaining how we need a new world order. Well, this is how you get there. This is exactly how you get there. This war is never going to end ever at all for any reason, which is why they sent J.D. Vance to go there and do the peace talks. It's laughable. It's a joke at this point. It just sucks because the joke's on us. But check this out. This is down in Georgia 2 days ago.
Now they got the motherfucking robot dog in the motherfucking hood patrolling the apartment. What the fuck type of AI shit it is? What the fuck? He look like he finna bite your ass.
Good evening. Hello?
Oh, baby,
How are you?
Where are you at?
I'm good.
This a person on it.
So, what y'all got the robot dog in here for?
To watch the people so they don't take.
Sorry. So we're actually like the robotic security dog here.
So, what y'all got to tell us? Huh?
Everything is being monitored and recorded.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want y'all to say I'm at a.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Robot dogs are already making it into cities in America all over again, because this isn't the first time. It happened during COVID, but now they're sneaking them in everywhere because, I mean, crime is absolutely out of hand. And that's also by design. You see what I'm saying? Check this out. This is a good channel. I follow this channel, DC Shorts, all the time because he tells me all the crazy stuff I don't want to know, but I need to know nonetheless. So check this out. This is Chicago. This is America. And this is Common.
This is a shootout in Chicago, apparently between groups called Vanoff 1700 and Toss Gang. As you watch this, ask yourself, would you want to live here? And these people are shooting at each other like they're outside playing laser tag. This video has been uploaded online with commentary on the major players involved. Look at some of the comments. I hear Drock. Backend and Jilla are easy to spot. You know Jilla when you see him, and Dude said his name. You see Jilla big ass calmly walking back with his pipe like it's just another normal day in the hood. Bro must be a savage because he is one big target and he'd be looking like he is not worried at all. So viewers of this video know the people involved. So Chicago police, where are you? Where are the arrests? Does anyone out there feel like visiting Chicago after this? This needs to be stopped. Consider it a virus that can spread to other parts of the country, and obviously has. It's my opinion that the authorities in these cities can stop this in a week if they wanted to, but they don't. For God's sake, this was just 2 months earlier in Chicago.
To everyone's shock, the victim's daughter, a baby girl, was located unharmed in her car seat. Those that were at the scene say that there were bullet casings found in the baby's car seat.
Now, if these kids actually ever learned how to use a weapon, they'd be incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. But they're dangerous nonetheless because they don't know how to use a weapon, so they're shooting it while looking away because they don't want to get hit in the eye with that pesky ejections. It's insane. And just like this kid that runs DC Short said, the police could stop this anytime they want. As a matter of fact, Palantir's been up and running since 2003. Palantir's been used. Palantir Maven system was the first strike that the United States made in Iran. And that first strike was a Tomahawk missile into a building with 167 schoolgirls in it and other people. That was their opening ritual sacrifice. Palantir can do that, but Palantir can't stop this with all the information that's available. These kids are doing this stuff, and then they know they're not getting in trouble for it because they're just going to become famous, because that's how you become famous on YouTube these days. Do a little rap, shoot somebody on a live video, and you blow up. You know what I'm saying? They could stop this, but they choose not to because they want to put these robotic dogs absolutely everywhere. These things are not awesome. These things are... I've been researching on ways to stop them, but I mean, you need to have some serious willpower when you've got robots rolling up on you. You know what I mean? I'm working on it. I'm working on it with a couple of other people that know this stuff, but it ain't looking too good for the average person just trying to live their lives. These people will not let us live our lives as God intended. It wasn't like this when I was a kid. It got progressively worse. And now it's just completely out of hand. Our president is openly running a gang. He is apparently the wizard. He is apparently the wizard. And speaking of that, let's go back to a video that I did in back in 1902 when I did a video. Let's look at this cover because this cover plays. And let's see what I thought about this back in 2017.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today's the 7th of June, 2017, and I just brought you an overview of the gifts that Trump brought to Pope Benedict. He brought him a statue of a lotus, which is indicative of Osiris.
Isn't it ironic? Back in 2017, Trump was bringing gifts to the Pope, and now he's having a battle on Twitter with him. Trump is like a giant child. It's insane.
The name of the statue was Rise Again. He also brought him writings by Martin Luther King. And the tower next to Mr. Trump has a letter on it. So please refer back to that video to understand what I'm talking about if you don't already. But let's take a look at this other card right here, the Wheel of Fortune. Notice the three people that are strapped to the Wheel of Fortune. We have the three flags, France, the Netherlands, and Germany. Lightning is striking Angela Merkel. We see the ballot boxes. Well, check this out. This is France's Marine Le Pen. And as happenstance would show us, this just occurred to her. As of the 3rd of March, she was sent a summons by a federal judge over allegations of misusing Europeans' funds.
Now, looking at this in hindsight, when I look at the Wheel of Fortune, it was probably either you guys allow us to flood your country with Muslim refugees from countries where bombing, etc., or something bad's going to happen. Well, we know these two acquiesced, but this one didn't, and something bad happened. And when I did this video, I couldn't stop pointing out the fact that Trump was holding these two items right here, meaning that he was the king, etc. He was also sitting on the American flag, much like a toilet. That would be judgment. And I think we're experiencing that right now. And the one thing I didn't realize back then, because I don't know if he used MAGA the first time around, but MAGA, the magician, he's represented right here as well, because he's going to be bringing in Agenda 2030, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but 2030. It's just a weird thing. I'll leave links for this if you are so inclined to watch it. It's only, oh, you know what? It's only another 2 minutes. Let's see what I thought back then, because I don't even remember.
Geert Wilders. Let's see what's happened to him recently, shall we? As of March 14, apparently, he has fallen short in the election. I don't want to listen to that. As wary Dutch scatter their votes. So apparently,
all right, I don't know what just happened, but whatever. This just completely stopped. I hope the live stream didn't stop. We still live? Give me a 5x5 real quick if you can still hear me. No? Good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on. Moving on. I just find it strange that Trump puts out that same tweet again where he's pretending to be Jesus, denying that he's pretending to be Jesus. And then the four soldiers in the background are now the four soldiers of the apocalypse. It seems pretty apropos because hell is coming. Somebody just left a comment because I left that little video on Patreon. It was only like 4 minutes. And I said, there's an event coming. And they're like, there's no event coming. They're going to do the boiling frog. No, they're not. They're going to do an event. They need to cripple us, and they need to get us to go full-blown war. War everywhere, exactly like the cover of The Economist showed us. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance,
a high-stakes message has sailed out of China and straight into the heart of West Asia's most volatile flashpoint. Admiral Dong Jun, China's defense minister, declared that Chinese ships are moving in and out of the Strait of Hormuz as tensions swirl around Iran and the world's most critical oil artery.
So does it make sense now why we're doing a blockade of the Straits of Hormuz? Because we want them open, so we're going to block them? Because now it gets us to cause friction with China and really ramp this entire thing up. These guys want nothing more than the entire world to be on fire so that they can rise from the ashes like a phoenix again, because this ain't the first go around. But it appears we're going to be the ones living through this. And you need to understand what's real and what's not real. And this war, peace talks are just nothing. They're just nothing. It's just the script. That's it. Everything else in the middle is just to keep you distracted. And they're doing a really good job at it. And people like this kind of bum me out because this dude's smart. This dude is really smart. And he has got massive, massive resources. And this is what he thinks is going on in the world right now.
The corruption is not stopping. We've got a lot more stories today. But first, I want to talk about the reason why. It's because there are going to be no consequences for any of this. This is right out of the Wall Street Journal. Trump promises mass pardons to staff before leaving office. Now, I got to be clear. The president denies this through the press secretary, saying it was all a joke. The Wall Street Journal should learn to take a joke. However, we know already there have been a bunch of fraud pardons. Half of his 88 individual pardons are for white-collar offenses. Many of those people would have had to pay restitution, except now they don't. So their victims literally are not going to get their money back. One estimate put the total amount at approximately $1.3 billion in restitutions and fines that have been eliminated. And the corruption has gotten so insane that everyone has started to admit it, even people who are friends with this administration.
The Trump family has enriched itself to the tune of $4 billion since taking office again in 2024. Does this concern you at all?
Of course. I mean, I've been calling this out, I think, before pretty much anybody else. If the name were Biden and instead of Trump, people would be screaming bloody murder.
I can't believe people listen to this dude right here. Look at this. Look at this. I couldn't be in a room without having to punch him. I'd have to punch him or I would die. Look at him. Look at him. And here's a fun fact that you may or may not know. But Ben Shapiro's uncle is the same uncle that stole, allegedly, all the nuclear supplies they would need to make nuclear weapons from the United States. Now, is any of that real? I don't know, but that is the story. That's where his family's money comes from. When you steal from America, your ally, to make illegal weapons that nobody seems to care about whatsoever at all, you end up being this dude. Look at this dude. What a faggot. I can't, unbelievable. But I guess the long story longer is it blows me away that CoffeeZilla, with all his resources, still cannot see the forest for the trees. He's like, I can't believe Trump would do this. And I'm like, I can't believe Trump wouldn't do this. Are you kidding me? It just blows me away, man. Some people have tunnel vision and they've been on that same trail for so long, they can't see anything other than what's presented to them as the truth. You know what I mean? So there, as they say, is that exactly USA. I like Bear Jew better, man. USA PE 350. That's hard to say, man. At any rate. Well, yeah, I mean, the only reason I know these people, I don't follow anything they say. I love people that think they're awake, that are like, did you hear what Candace Owens said? Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson are Kabbalists. Tucker Carlson went on CIA missions with his dad. You think oh no, well, he did that before. They used to wear the red string bracelet all the time to represent the Kabbalah but now they're Christian. Dude, they would not have a voice if what they were saying wasn't meant to keep you going in the wrong direction. They'll give you 80%. But they'll never actually get right down to it, ever. They won't call a spade, ever. So if that hurts your feelings, please, right away, unsubscribe. It's all good. No worries. There's a reason my channel's been back up for like a year, I think. I think I got it back in April. Whatever. My channel, I don't go past 25,000 views no matter what, even though the comments are voluminous and my thumbs up are off. The math doesn't math. I don't get another subscriber. I don't lose a subscriber. I just sit there as a test subject, including all of you, for them to monitor for whatever reason, man. You know, whatever reason. I told you that when the channel came back, and I'm telling you again right now. We're being used. Every single word I say, every single comment you leave is going into some sort of an AI system, and it will be used against us at some point. Understand and know that. I do. You should. Or don't. Your call. But Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, I've heard some of the things they say. I can't understand how you could listen to Candace Owens. You have to put her on like speed and a half because she's so slow. I hear you. You know what? This right here, I hear you, but I don't have time for that. I don't care who's a man and who's not. I don't care about any of that. There's just not enough time. We don't have the luxury of time to delve into who's a man and who's not, and it doesn't matter anymore. It just does not matter anymore, in my opinion. But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Take a peek at this real quick for all those people that are telling me that because of the government shutdown, there's no more chemtrails. Yeah, I beg to differ, because chemtrails aren't run by the government. So a government shutdown would not affect them in any way whatsoever at all. And it doesn't, because I got chemtrail. I've seen chemtrails so insane that I've actually started recording again. And I started my channel 17 years ago, videotaping chemtrails. I got kind of bored with it, but you know what? Sometimes it's just so obvious you got to pull out a camera. And on this night, I did.
No drizzle, no rain. Nice warm night in Arkansas. And it looks like a snowstorm. You're breathing this in daily. Sorry to say it. Look at that.
I love barred owls. I can do a pretty good barred owl call, and I did that right before I pulled out that flashlight, because they showed up. So I pulled a flashlight out and instantly got sidetracked, because I'm like, holy cow, it looks like it's snowing out. Perfectly still night, not windy, nothing, but every single night. Go out any night of the week where it's dark, point up a flashlight, and you'll see it. It's just they're constantly seasoning us with barium, strontium, aluminum, and whatever else. You see what I'm saying? But I'm all excited here. Okay, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Don't do that. Share the screen. All right. It's funny that there's a big kerfuffle going on right now about robot dogs showing up, and then suddenly Boston Dynamics drops this. Now, bear one thing in mind real quick, okay? The robot dog that was in Georgia was being run by a person. So it was just basically a remote controlled dog, okay? Now, that remote controlled dog could have an M203 grenade launcher on it. It could have a 308 mounted to it. It could have an AR-15, AK-47, or a 12 gauge mounted to it. So they could walk up to you with an armed dog and shoot you. But you could take that little robot dog out, because if it can't see you with the camera, it can't see you. That's an easy one. See you later. It's gone. The ones that Boston Dynamics have been making forever aren't like that. They are run completely on AI. They're given a mission and then they are sent. You see what they're telling you? Spot is using its cameras and Gemini Robotics to receive a list of tasks to perform. It's also using I didn't turn the camera on, mic on, my bad. Spot is using cameras and Gemini Robotics to receive a list of tasks to perform. So this thing is using AI as well as cameras and LiDAR. And from what I've gathered from someone that works at BD or did, these are hardened. So you can't take them out with an EMP gun. Well, I don't have an EMP gun. Well, we're going to get to that. So relax. Have a cup of coffee or don't. Okay, you get the gist of it. It's completely autonomous, and the ones that the wealthy people have, I shouldn't even call it the military, because private people have been allowed to amass such great fortunes and autonomy. They can build whatever they want. And those are the guys that are flying around in TR-3Bs and TR-4s, etc., things of that nature. But I mean, look at this thing. This is actually legit. So these are the things that we need to worry about in real life. Getting warmed up to the dog, the robot dog that shows up at your apartment complex and is talking back and forth to you from an operator that's probably in China, India, Pakistan, whatever, in a real world, with all these other countries that are enemies and spies. The government would never in a million years allow a foreign operator to come in with a robotic device that has all these abilities to gather information that's being run out of another country. Do you see what I'm saying? But we don't live in a real world. We're actually beyond idiocracy right now. We're right between 1984 and idiocracy. And Trump is definitely the last president. So him even signing anything saying that no one's going to get in trouble after the fact, he's not going anywhere. His actions should prove that. He's going to pull off a war big enough where it's going to hurt. It's already starting to hurt, but it's going to hurt. It's going to be undeniable. All eyes will see it. You see what I mean? This is how bad robot dogs are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. It was a matter of time before autonomous and semi-autonomous robots would play a more important role in the military. Recent developments have increased the rate at which this is happening.
You see this? This is Big Dog. This is an old version, and this is no good because if you can listen to it, it's running on a generator, a gasoline or diesel-powered generator. Listen.
These types of systems are expected on the battlefield.
That can be taken out. So they're all going to be run on lithium, and I'm going to show you something that should really bum you out. I hate to do it, but I mean, it is what it is. I got to watch it, so you do too. This is what they can do. They could simply airdrop these things all around us at any time out of an airplane. They hit the ground, and they're automatically up and running because they're autonomous.
Military robot dogs can even effectively patrol swampy terrain, as proven at Tyndall Air Force Base. These self-contained units can negotiate muddy terrain for 5-mile perimeter patrols. After recharging, they restart 24-hour security duties, providing continuous observation in tough wetland conditions.
Fully autonomous. They can drop them in a Connex box that's already got the chargers built in. It's already got the power built into it. You know what I mean? Massive lithium batteries with solar on top. They can recharge forever. And they're already all over the place. You just don't notice them. Because why would you? You know what I mean? But these things are a trip, man. This is a bad day at the office right here. And trying to find different methods of thwarting them. I don't know how you say that, whatever. Is going to be a real bone of contention very, very soon. No pun intended. If there was a pun there. All right, you're going to keep rebuffering? Then you're out of here. All right, let me show you something real quick. For those of you that are handy and are interested, there's a good video I found. There's a couple of them on here. This is called, I built an EMP rifle, and it works. For educational purposes only. Yeah, you see that little, that's funny, isn't that? Yeah, it's all fun and games till it happens. But as you can see, there are countermeasures available, and you can build them pretty easily, especially if you know how to use a 3D printer or things of that nature, or you know, a 15-year-old Asian kid that knows how to run a 3D printer, because this is a doable thing. But the problem with this is, to be totally honest, I hate to take hope away while handing it out at one hand. Most of these things are hardened, meaning they've already got built-in protection from EMP. I mean, they came up with this stuff, so of course they've already got the antidote. You know what I'm saying? So I just figured I'd show you all that. And again, I've done copious numbers of videos on every type of method to produce energy when there is no energy. And I'm happy to see a lot of people have actually followed my lead, or at least took this seriously, because with no power, it's a whole different world. I mean, dude, I kind of went out of my way here to make sure I did a really great video, and it got 11,000 views. 11,000 views. Look at all these devices I had to buy just to test them all. You see what like, I'm not messing around. This is what I do when I'm home, if I'm not working on the truck. But yeah, there's a ton of these, and I left links for them all. So I'll leave a link for you if you want them. I'm glad to see a lot of people have implemented this in their lives, because sucks to say, but if you want to live on this earth and try to endure to the end, there's a few things you're going to need to know how to do, and a few things you're going to need to do. And waiting around or pretending there isn't an event coming, you're just blind. You think this is just all going to end well with the Straits of Hormuz? Dude, this was done by design. No military in the world would go after Iran that depends on that oil and start bombing them. Like, that's like knocking on the door. Hey, we're here, everybody. Here we are. But you didn't square away that we would have taken the Straits of Hormuz first, secured it so that we had control over it and they couldn't sabotage it, and then start bombing them for no particular reason whatsoever at all. Because again, Iran hasn't done anything to anybody since 1541. Well, what about the hostages? Yeah, dude, check this out. They were living their lives, doing their own thing. And then we stuck a guy called the Shah, the king of Iran, in there with his own secret CIA police force, and started acting like assholes. And they got another Ayatollah and everything was fine. But Israel needs that land, or Israel needs them to destroy them, because that's what's Israel's getting smoked. They're getting it put on them, but it will not stop them. We're at war with Iran. Quickly to Lebanon. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how this is just playing out. And I find it humorous that all of a sudden Candace Owens and Tucker, they're all against the Zionists. Where were you guys 17 years ago when we were pointing all this out? Because this ain't new. I'm ringing the same bell I was when I first started doing this. And it wasn't popular then. And now it's popular, which freaks me out, which makes me know that this is by design. Because Tucker and Candace were both given, here you go. If Candace really knew who killed Charlie Kirk, Valhalla, if she really knew, she'd be on the list too. And the way they did that, or didn't do it, so blatantly, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care whatsoever at all. It's astonishing to me how many big YouTubers are wasting. I mean, they've been wasting their time since September 10th, since the event, up till now, like, oh my God, the bullet doesn't match the. Yeah, no kidding. Of course, the whole story was completely stupid. The kid jumped off a roof with a fully assembled 30-06 in his pants. Oh, well, he took it apart. Okay. So he took it apart. Well, guess what? When you take apart a 30-06 rifle, it doesn't turn into a packet of peanuts. You know what I mean? It's still big. And then he left it. I'm going to leave this one smoking gun right here. But before I do that, I'm going to reassemble it, even though I left it. I mean, the whole story is completely nonsensical, and people are still chasing it like, OMG, it wasn't him. Who cares? Who cares? None of it. I mean, I told you at the beginning, and I'm telling you now, it's a distraction. And I didn't want to play with those reindeer games, and I still won't. So there, as they say, is that. So it's not exactly a packet of peanuts now, is it? Name that movie, and I'll send you I won't send you anything. Never mind. All right, let me show you something creepy. This is crazy, but it just keeps on happening. What video is this? All right, stand by. Check this out. This is somebody's Tesla picking up dead people or spirits or demons in a cemetery. It's crazy.
Hi.
I just want y'all to see I'm at look where we at, y'all. There's nobody outside. I believe God is real. This is all proof to me. Look at this. Look at this. All the people here. There's nobody here.
The Tesla uses technology to pick up electromagnetic frequencies and such to see objects that are solid. Like, don't hit that mailbox. Don't hit that lady pushing a baby stroller. But they have been consistently picking up bodies of people that aren't there everywhere. You know what I mean? So I'm just guessing they're picking up whatever's coming through the portals that has not yet become physical. They're there. Certain things can see them. We can't. Certain animals can probably see them. We can't. You know what I mean? And keep this in mind right here. Remember this old doozy, this old chestnut that Snopes figured out was completely fake? Henry Kissinger. Who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control a whole continent. Who controls the money can control the world. Snopes is like, he never said that. Well, yeah, actually he did. But listen to this fun little story right here.
People like Bill Gates gobble up farmland, and you read what his foundation says about farming when they say that we're going to have a particular type of agriculture. They want large blocks run by the government or by private consortia where they say we're not going to have animal-based proteins, we're not going to have stockyards, we're not going to have turkey farms, we're not going to have chicken. The academic mind always has the answers, but never in the real world.
And the fun part is they already saw what we thought about. They already saw what our reaction was to synthetic beef. It's what any sovereign, free-born, pure blood person would say. I ain't eating that. I'm not eating something that was 3D printed when you can simply eat a cow. That's what they're for. You know what I'm saying? But of course, they got to sneak them into the supermarkets without telling you, because that's exactly what they're doing. It sucks to go try to find something to eat because I can't eat at a restaurant because I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I eat the most boring stuff. It sucks. I hate it, but it is what it is. I'm not eating any genetically modified stuff if I can do anything about it. I literally carry around bison hot dogs, bison, elk. I'm a city boy. So what do you call venison and farm eggs? That's it. That's all I'm eating. It is what it is. But I mean, these guys have just stuck it absolutely every place. And it's going to be a problem because, of course, I just asked a farmer about this who has beautiful black Angus cows on his property. It's part of his preps. He's not messing around. I asked him, apparently because of the Straits of Hormuz, a chemical, ammonium nitrate, that you need for fertilizer. I said, can't you just use cow shit like you've used for time immemorial? And he said, yeah, but there just ain't enough of it because of the massive amounts of cows they have, because there's 8 billion people. When's the last time you got it censored? When's the last time somebody checked you off? Somebody called and asked you what you thought about polls, according to polls, 90% of people think this. I get a lot of phone calls from people that I cannot even understand or care about what they're saying, but I never get polled. And I've never been on a censor. I've never been censored, whatever that's called. But there's 8 billion people. Yeah, I'm going to guess that's a lie because here's the thing. I don't have to just trust the internet. I travel. And there ain't a lot of us. There's places you can drive where you're driving for 100 miles for a long, long time, and there ain't nobody around. There's just land. And most of it says Bayer on it now. Bayer. Owned by Bayer. Bayer, Monsanto. Remember that deal, 666? Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 3 billion tops, maybe, but there's more than enough of everything. These guys are causing it, and they're not going to stop. They're not stopping, and nobody's stopping them. As much as we've yelled from the rooftops, the only people that are allowed to actually reach a new audience, anyone's that are allowed to get above 25,000 views, they're not threatening them. They're just putting out information that's a rehash of information that's been out for a decade or more. You know what I'm saying? JMO.
And they do a lot of damage.
Everywhere you look, small and medium-sized farms being gobbled up by these corporate mega farms because they can't keep up anymore. They can't comply with these endless streams of regulations that are coming down. We're seeing that in China now, where these giant mechanized corporate, big government-controlled mega farms are displacing all these little small family farms that families have been farming for hundreds of years, in some cases longer. They're moving them all off their little plots of land and moving them into these big, horrific mega cities that they have built. And we're going to see that all over the world with the decimation of small farms. So if they're not bankrupted by economic forces, the government itself will shut them down.
When he says we're going to see it, we're already seeing it. It's just been going on for several years now. Farmers are getting absolutely decimated. It's incredible. It's unbelievable how bad it is to be a farmer. They don't want you to be a farmer because they want to be the farmers, where everybody eats incredibly low protein, high plastic, and poison foods, because that's all America is. Everything we eat in America is illegal in other countries. Why is that? How come no? You know what I mean? It blows me away, but whatever. They just want to make it much, much worse. This is literally soylent green, basically.
Everything is falling apart. There is a shortage of food. Many people do not have enough money to eat every day.
Everybody's out here today because they understand that when our government actually expropriates our farmers, we're all next.
Not just Holland is now facing these types of regulations, but you can see the attack on farmers all over the world. It's an agenda that is carried out on a global level, that is being pushed through government officials in respective countries.
This is precisely how the globalists have managed to take over national parliaments and national governments.
You know what's crazy though? And I hate to say it, but I'm going to. Did you notice out of all of those people that were protesting, all those countries, all those farmers, all those people coming together to protect their farmland, did you notice that we weren't there? There's none from the United States. You know what I mean? Because people are too busy amusing themselves to death, one way or the other. The last 10 days, I had so little interactions with social media by design because I was doing things and social media wasn't helpful at the time. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. I don't need to show you any more of that because you probably already know where I'm going with it or where it's going. And it's practically basically almost already here. Let me see what else I have. All right, check this out one more time. A little reminder. For those that want to know how to do this stuff, I've spent years making playlists, making videos on how to make the simplest, cheapest water filter for under $20. And you want to install a supercharger? I'll show you that too. How to avoid a drone attack. There it is. How to destroy your Jeep. There it is. EMP proofing. How to trap and release a skunk without getting sprayed. Because, yeah, I did that. Why wouldn't you? See what I'm saying? All the information's here. It's been here for a long, long, long time. And nobody seems to, I don't know. Some people see it, some people don't. But I'll tell you what, the clock is ticking, man. We do not have all the time in the world. These boys are going to do something big. You got to remember, all the scientists are disappearing. Every day, another scientist just disappears. They're going underground. I mean, it's really, they might as well just tell us that because they are just telling us that. Oops, I'm taking off, honey. Where are you going? I'm going far, but I'm going to leave my keys. I'm going to do a factory reset on my phone before I take a walk. Just because, you never know these days with kids and such. Yeah, they're all going deep underground military bases. And half of the politicians and half of the wealthy people are probably doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Last week, everybody hated Sam Altman. It was starting to come out. So what did they do? They do what they always do. They do what they always do. Sam Altman has been attacked, it turns out. Oh my, someone's attacking Sam Altman. Let me tell you a secret. I've visited some of you guys, and getting to your property, I got to go through gates. I got to go through the dude. Here's my ID, etc. You ain't getting nowhere near Sam Altman's house, but apparently somebody just threw a Molotov cocktail. Do you know how close you got to be to throw a Molotov? You have a bottle of gasoline with a rag on fire. You don't have a lot of time, all right? I don't recommend doing this. I've seen it done in a movie before. It can get ugly real quick. But somebody apparently ran up to Sam Altman's house, right up to his house, and threw it at his house. And now all of a sudden he's a victim because that's what they do. That's what they do. So let's see what I like watching this guy's channel, but he is so unawake, it's amazing to me. Or he's just a coward. I got to say it because his platform is getting larger. I helped him. Many others helped him get where he's at right now, but he just dances around it way, way, way too much, man.
And this next part is where I think it's a little bit interesting, where they say that Tom and Hussein were transported to the San Francisco County Jail and booked for negligent discharge. Okay, I find that very interesting because negligent discharge means something very different than a targeted assault. Sometimes things are timed just a little too perfectly. So much so that you just can't help it but ask, is this really all just a big coincidence, or could there be something more going on here? Because we on this channel have been talking about Sam Altman for years, but last week's Ronan Farrow piece in the New Yorker was, I think, the first mainstream investigative piece exposing what we've been talking about: Sam's lying, his deceit, manipulation, possible criminal conduct against his sister, and also the mysterious death of an OpenAI whistleblower named Suchir Balaji. And the internet sort of just blew up talking about, the things that we've been talking about for years now. And Sam Altman and his PR team had to go into full damage control. One coincidence that people noticed right away is that Sam had been called out in Farrow's reporting for ignoring safety protocols. And on that same day, OpenAI just so happened to drop this announcement introducing the Child Safety Blueprint, a framework for combating and preventing AI-enabled child exploitation, which I think is something that Sam Altman might know a thing or two about, allegedly. But over the weekend, Sam Altman went from being this hated sociopathic CEO, allegedly, to now a victim of online extremist violence. Take a listen.
Hi, Harris. Well, Fox News exclusively here right now as FBI agents literally just swarmed the home of that 20-year-old suspect accused of trying to kill the CEO of OpenAI by throwing a Molotov cocktail at his house. Now, we have the Harris County Sheriff's Office here, and again, the FBI. I want to say,
it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Last week, everybody that worked at OpenAI, all sorts of people were coming out and exposing Altman for the scumbag that he is. And then magically, he has two events occur. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail, and then somebody took a shot at him. But if you listen to this whole story here, but with James Lee, it explains how it's completely fishy. I just wish he would just put a point on it. Say it, man. You know what I mean? Everybody's too worried about my career. Dude, do you even understand what you're talking about when you're reporting this stuff? Do you understand what the goal is and how close it is? Exactly. At any rate. All right, moving through things. Yeah, someone just said, I was out in the woods and I got 7 ticks on me. Okay. I've been out in the swamps in Florida, the Everglades, Mississippi, Arkansas, not a single tick on me. You know why? Because I treat my clothes with permethrin, and that's it. There's not some magical swarm of ticks that are going to kill everybody. They do this every single year since the day I started YouTube. I used to report on this until I went, wait a minute. This is just nonsense. They don't want people going outside. And then people that are posting comment, I had ticks. Okay, cool. I'm sure you did. There you go. But I didn't. And I've been in some pretty wacky places, man. When you're recording alligators under your truck growling in the middle of the night, you're probably in a high tick area, and yet not a tick. The no-see-ums, on the other hand, they suck. But on that, I will digress. Data centers. Yeah, this is lame. This is really lame. I just posted this on RFB3.
I'm Miley Kozinski, and I live 1.6 miles downstream from the Meta Data Center in Beaver Dam. If you need to stand and stretch for a moment, please do. I have never in my life needed a group of people to be more alert to what I have to say. Thank you for staying so long. I'm a lifelong Wisconsin resident. I live on a horse farm, and I am an educator. For almost 50 years, a natural creek has flowed through my property. It's 20 feet wide, up to 4 feet deep. It has persisted through drought, flood, seasonal change. It's part of a connected system, groundwater, tributaries, watersheds, aquifers, ultimately flowing into Beaver Dam Lake. Until construction began upstream on the data center, its behavior was stable and predictable. After construction started, all of that changed here in Beaver Dam. The creek began to stop flowing entirely. Without rainfall, it would abruptly return, often cloudy and opaque like milk, with enough force to cause drastic erosion and damage. This pattern repeated itself dozens of times over a single construction season, to the point that it is dry half of the time. Dust from the construction covers my yard. My grass is white, and I'm 1.6 miles away. When I drive past it, I have to pull over because the dust cloud is so thick that I can't see the front of the hood of my truck. That behavior is not consistent with natural variability. It is not explained by weather patterns, and it has never happened before. So I did what residents are told to do. I called up the Department of Natural Resources. I spoke with dedicated staff, but the system is fragmented. My reports are passed between departments, reports are lost, and at one point I was told the agency didn't even know if they had clear authority over what was going on. What I learned in this process is there is no single entity responsible for what happens downstream when large-scale construction disrupts a water system. Different permits govern different activities, locally, county level, state level, some even federal. No one is tasked at looking at the whole picture or what happens beyond the project boundary. This is not a failure of individual agency staff, it's a policy failure. The law is on the side of the businesses and not on the residents. In my case, the creek's flow now appears correlated with industrial activity upstream and the times when that construction took place, including daily blasting with dynamite. When that discharge stops, my creek stops. When it resumes, water returns suddenly. Right now, corporates are receiving fast approval tax incentives, limited review, while residents are left to prove the damage after the fact at our own expense against billion-dollar companies.
Okay, I'm not going to play this entire thing, but it's on RFB3. It's 7.5 minutes long, and it's heartbreaking because out of all the countries that have data centers, we have more data centers in the United States than every other country combined. We have over 4,300 of them right now, and the only person that benefits from data centers is the company that actually builds them initially, because after the fact, there's nothing in there. It's just concrete walls, ventilation, and water with maybe a dozen, $18 an hour security guards, and everybody else works offline there. They're just massive computers sitting in the middle of everything that literally suck up all your electricity and all the drinkable water, all of it, and they destroy it, just like this poor woman saying. And again, I happen to know somebody that builds data centers, which I don't even know what to make of that. Nobody knows who they're building the building for originally. Everything is completely quiet. You don't know it's for Facebook. You don't know it's for OpenAI. You don't know who it's for whatsoever at all until after it's already done. And after it's already done, the first thing it does is it's your electric bill goes up. Your water comes to a stop. Your water is instantly contaminated, which is amazing to me. I said this years ago when I was talking about chemtrails. They're undoing creation. And there's a lot of it. I'm looking at it right now. Creation's a magnificent, amazing thing. If you don't know there's a God and you've ever been outside, then you're an idiot, an absolute imbecile, And I don't know what to tell you. You'll never hear anything, whatever. God's fingerprint is the golden ratio. It is the Fibonacci sequence, and it's in me and every single living thing out there. Everything. That's God's fingerprint. Our DNA is his signature. The mRNA vaccine was made to disrupt the signature of God. You're no longer sealed by God. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. Some people think they can get around it. I don't know how that works. God can do amazing things, but here's the deal. If you didn't take it, you're way ahead of the game. These data centers are going up absolutely everywhere. So whoever's left after 2030, when Agenda 2030 comes in and everybody that said they were going to stand up doesn't do anything and they just acquiesce and go for the social credit system and they go for the digital dollar and they're only allowed to eat certain things, certain times. Everything's on credit. You can't travel any place. Have at it. Every single move you make will be tracked by these things, or these data centers are something completely different. They might have something to do with Project Bluebeam. These data centers may be required in order to keep and maintain portals for when these things that will cause men's hearts to fail from fear. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because that's all coming. It's all written. It's all gospel. It's coming, and I can see it coming. And if you can't see it coming, I don't know what to tell you. Somebody just commented, in 2036, things will probably get bad. Nope. Things are getting bad now because 2030 is right here. They never miss their deadline. Agenda 2025, done. Agenda 2030, end of the road for people like me and you. Social credit, do you know how many words I've said on the internet for them to see, monitor, and analyze, including you? Yeah. I'm going to guess our social credit score is going to be low, like negative. So I'm not playing their reindeer games. I'm not living in their world. You're not going to tell me what to do or what I can't do. If I'm not harming somebody else, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? Period. I'll deal with God, and that's that. Seriously. And if you've met me, you know I'm not bullshit. Period. But on that, I'll digress. I apologize for swearing, but you know what? Sometimes I don't know any other adjectives. Listen to this, kid, for whatever this is worth.
I am the world's highest IQ record holder, Young-Hoon Kim. I say this not just with human logic, but with a divine revelation. Jesus Christ will return in our generation. This is a truth revealed to me by God the Father and the Holy Spirit. I have received grace, not only through faith, but through the gift of the world's highest IQ score and record. My intelligence is not from me. It is a sign from God, a gift to testify to his truth. And it is the evidence that I have been commissioned to see what others ignore and speak what others fear. Modern science shows that time is not fixed.
I love it. Already in the this guy's AI. Actually, he's not. He's been around for a long, long time. He's the smartest guy. He's the world's highest IQ. And he pissed everybody off in Korea by coming out as a Christian. And he's a staunch Christian. But he's AI. There you go. Yeah, you're on it, guys. You're on it.
Einstein proved that time moves differently depending on speed and gravity. So when Jesus said, "This generation will not pass away until all these things happen," he was speaking from eternity, not human clocks. And quantum physics teaches that what we believe and observe can shape what becomes real. When many begin to see the truth, the prophecy becomes the present. And that is exactly what is happening now.
So basically, he's saying what we kind of all can feel, or you should be able to feel it, that turns out the math does math. Israel is literally trying to bring their Mashiach back by October 2nd, 2027. The Mashiach would probably be an antichrist, I'd have to say. Everybody's on a clock. All of a sudden, everything just sped up exponentially. And this guy has the highest IQ in the world. He's been ringing this bell for years. I think I ran him about 5 years ago when he first popped up, and he got in all sorts of trouble because he was a Christian. And he was like, dude, I'm telling you there's a God, and I'm telling you Jesus was real. And he's done the math. He's not saying the day or the hour, but he's just saying the generation. And I've heard that from a few people that are really, really heavy into the Bible. And they're like, yeah, I guess the math does actually add up, which is why they took the entire list of times and dates out of the old King James that explained when things started, this, that, and the other thing. We are the generation. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Believe it or don't, it's your call, but he's probably smarter than I am. I had this up here, but I already explained this. This right here is, I mean, who is this dude? This freaks me out. Every time I see a picture of him, he looks completely different, but, you know, they would never fake us with a double or a triple or a robot or whatever. And what else did I have? Let me see. The fact that we even allow this to occur. Former New Hampshire Democrat representative faces 30 years for child porn. He's a transgender. Isn't he a beautiful woman? Look at him, Stacey Marie Lawton. Oh, she's beautiful. What a beautiful woman. This is ridiculous. This is a defective human being. This is a dog that bites. You got to put it down. Period. Period. The nation's first transgender straight representative. What did I tell you about these people? Anybody that acts in sexual deviancy like that, like Sam Altman and his husband, and of course they have to adopt a child or abduct it or whatever they did. What do you think that child's going to turn out to be? I mean, this is just crazy. Half of the richest people on earth are married to the same person of the same sex, not gender, because there's no such thing as gender. Male, female, period. All right, I don't know what else I got here. I don't think I have anything else. I don't. How long have I been going here? How come I can't tell how long I've been going? That's kind of weird, don't you think? Is that Broken Reality change? Why do you change your name? You're killing me. I'm getting old. I can't remember all these different nomenclatures and such. Demons are indeed everywhere. What a face. I mean, what a disgusting thing, you know? And they made a big, the first transgender state representative. Oh, yeah, 30 years for child porn. Whoops. The guy running BLM. Oops. In prison for stealing millions and millions of dollars from George Soros. Don't steal money from George Soros. You will go to prison. You know what I mean? They hate that stuff. They hate when people steal from them. What is this? What are you, an asshole? I got bit by a tick. Good for you, dude. That's terrific. Wonderful. Wow, people are amazing. I can't stand YouTubers that, you know, my channel's monetized, so I have to put videos up. I'm speaking of others. I have to put, you know, clickbait titles, the exact same thumbnail, every single video, and then run any story that might get me views, no matter what it is, period. And pushing the mainstream, yeah, don't do that, okay? That's what we're not supposed to be, the mainstream. Repeating what the mainstream says. Oh, stay inside because the air quality. No, I'm never going to stay inside ever unless I want to stay inside, okay? That's what they want you to do. They want you to shut up, sit down, put on an Oculus thing or whatever, and stay in the house and eat food that they make with a 3D printer with all sorts of poison. More poison than the poison they already put in your food. I'm not going to do that, okay? You got bit by a tick? Holy cow, that's insane. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. Again, the Everglades, LaBelle, Florida. LaBelle, Florida, there's ticks there. Unscathed. You know why? Simple little preparations and I'm good to go. I'm wearing combat pants right now that have built-in gaiters. And I wear socks with sandals because they're treated with permethrin. Ticks don't just jump on you for no reason, all right? So, you're from the city? Yeah, I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. But I'm still a pussy in certain situations. Like, I will not use a gas-powered chainsaw. I'm not having it. I got laughed at in the Ozarks. We're on the trail. It's a bunch of trees down. I got a DeWalt 20-volt chainsaw. No problem. Chainsaw runs out of juice. My buddy's like, here's a still. It was like a 30-inch blade on it. I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. And he's like, he doesn't know how to use a chainsaw. And I'm like, well, I grew up in the city, so why would I know how to use a chainsaw? You see what I mean? Like, I don't know how to use a chainsaw like you don't know how to not have sex with farm animals. You see the difference? It's where we grew up. That's all. No big deal, but whatever. I have no problem with a skill saw, but I don't like table saws. Table saws will take your thumb if you give them a chance. Hold on. I think I still have a couple of other things I was supposed to run here. Did I? I do. Check this out. I ran this a long time ago, I believe.
The New York Times, the date, Friday, May the 7th, 1920. It's page 11 that I want. There we go. Page 11. Page 11. The article is called "The Jewish War Aid Gets $100,000 Gift." There it is. The Fund for Jewish War Sufferers in Central and Eastern Europe, where 6 millions face horrifying conditions of famine, disease, and death, was enriched yesterday by a contribution of $100,000 from Nathan Strauss. Where 6 millions face horrifying conditions of famine, disease, and death. 6 millions face horrifying conditions of famine, disease, and death. I'll go down the rest of the article if anybody wants to read it. There's an article called "Jewish War Aid Gets $100,000 Gift" in the New York Times, Friday, May the 7th, 1920. Here's the New York Times again. This is 1921. There you go. New York Times, Wednesday, July the 20th, 1921. It's page 2 that I want. There we go. Page 2. Page 2. New York Times, July 20th, 1921. And the article is called "Begs America, Save 6 Million in Russia. Massacre Threatens All Jews as Soviet Power Wanes," declares Kreinin, coming here for aid. Look at that. Russia's 6 million Jews are facing extermination by massacre. As the famine is spreading, the counter-revolutionary movement is gaining, and the Soviet control is waning. Now, this is one of the biggest articles of the lot. This is 1921, 12 years before Adolf Hitler ever set foot in the government. Look at that. Russia's 6 million Jews are facing extermination by massacre. That's an article entitled "Begs America, Save 6 Million in Russia" on page 2 in the New York Times, Wednesday, July 20th, 1921. This is the Gazette of Montreal. This is 9.
If memory serves, the Big Sib put this out several years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, if memory serves. I'm not exactly sure because I'm getting old and I forget things, but you're catching on to what's going on here, right? The number 6 million's been around for a long time. They even made a movie about it, $6 million man. I mean, it's a thing.
1931. The Gazette, Montreal, Tuesday, December the 29th, 1931. This is over a year before Hitler came to power. The Gazette, it's page 6 that I want. There we go. Page 6. Page 6. The Gazette, Montreal, December the 29th, 1931. And the article pretty much speaks up for itself. 6 million Jews face starvation. 6 million. Bad conditions in southeastern Europe reported by Rabbi Wise. Fears crisis at hand.
So you're catching what I'm pitching here, right? I mean, the number 6, the Balfour Declaration, the number 6 million's been around way before the event. And they don't like when that's put out there. So I would not be surprised if this gets my channel taken down, but whatever. It is what it is. You need to know what's really going on. I'll post that. That's 7 minutes of him. He's got like 4 more newspapers where the number 6 million comes up. And it's just what they do, man. It's their tactics. They've been doing this for a long, long time. But here's one more because this was just right in your face. Watch this. Want to see a rocket not going to the moon? Check this out.
Okay. Well, that adds to 648 people left.
Ahora sí se fue.
It goes up, not even very far, and then just starts coming right back down. Then it ends up in the ocean where no one's allowed to be at whatsoever at all. Nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but let me show you one more real quick. Because this one was just in your face, like literally.
It is the highest high.
We're going to the moon.
That's the best part right there. You can see the 4 of them coming down the cables, being ejected before the thing goes up, the big bottle rocket.
We're going to the moon. Crazy. And apparently there was a movie about faking the moon landing back in 1969, and it was called, obviously, Artemis, because why not? At any rate, Richie from Boston, my bum is killing me, and I'm not even married to a man. These wooden chairs, I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. So I'm going to go out and try to find water moccasins. And apparently, according to the locals, shriek owls, is that the right? Screech owls are all over the grass as soon as it gets dark. I've never gotten video of one, so I'm going to try to do that. You know, you got to still try to live life, man. I remember when I first woke up, 6 months I sat at my computer and I was so very depressed because it's depressing. Being awake sucks. It sucks, but I wouldn't have it any other way, to be totally honest. But it does make life more difficult, you know, when you start thinking about like you've got an infinite amount of days left at the hand of somebody else. It is what it is. I'll watch out for those ticks. I cover all my clothing with permethrin. It lasts for a couple of months, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I go into some really stupid places. Maybe I'll post some videos of it or not. I don't know. At any rate, yes, to the land of yes. And I also heard 6 million Jews died in the Bermuda Triangle. So, I mean, you got to be careful. 6 million of the unluckiest people ever. Every year there was something new bad happening to them. So, Tom Jones, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Permethrin, Permethrin, comes in a yellow spray bottle. Sawyer makes it. Spray it on your clothes. You saturate your clothes, let them dry in the sun, and it lasts for like 6 months, and it works like a champ. Yeah, right? 6 inches tall, cute. Nice. I think they're actually saw-whet owls, but we'll find out one way or the other. At any rate. I'll share it if you want to, but whatever. What's your radio show? Crypt Trick 96. I'm guessing you're talking about Bigfoot, things of that nature. It is. That's the correct spelling. Permethrin. There was another movie called Artemis, or the project was called Artemis, but it was in there prominently because they're not even trying anymore. Somebody just said, "What the F is a screech owl?" Oh, the comments are moving. Sounds like I don't know what that means, brother. Kangawalla foxes. Yeah, I got really kick-ass footage. I caught a kit fox, which looks like a house cat, but it's got huge ears. I caught that in the Calico Desert in California. I got a sick one on my buddy Brett's property down in LaBelle, Florida. A fox that his face was all painted. It was crazy. I don't know what it was. I got a few of them, so that was pretty cool. I love nature. I love outside. So it just really pisses me off that these guys they're actively pushing this. They want to charge us for breathing air. Remember when the scumbag Fink wanted I forget how he said it. Everything was going to be an asset or what was the word? They basically want to charge us for every single solitary thing in your actions and your CO2 output. You're a human being. You have to put out CO2. CO2 is part of our existence. They've literally tricked people into just not going back to 5th grade where they taught you what photosynthesis was. CO2 is necessary. CO2 is required. And they're trying to tell us it's a bad thing. So come to Missouri. I'm always in Missouri. Yeah, everybody's a printer. How about it? RJCJR10 at yahoo.com. Foxes, see, the doomsayers. Foxes get mange. Foxes, they can get mange. They can do their thing, you know what I mean? But they pee on everything and they make so much noise. It's like being married with a bunch of kids, probably. So, at any rate, Ephesians 6:11, put on the whole armor of God that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Never more important than it is right now. I do not consent. I will not consent. Don't. It's not worth it. Look at this world right now. Look at everything I just showed you in this video right now. That's just scratching the surface. You know what I mean? They're allowing lawlessness. They're promoting lawlessness. Mainstream is being called out for everything is completely illegal, man. It's crazy. And it's our president doing it. You know what I mean? So to the rest of the world, we're complicit. You know what I'm saying? Just like those terrorists over in Iraq. So all Iraqis are terrorists. Nope. Let me tell you what. If a bunch of people from another country showed up in Texas and started trying to take your house and rape your wife and kill your children, and people would strap up. And you know what you would be? A terrorist. They've been doing this my entire life and before that. They just go to another country, start shooting, people shoot back. That's the enemy. If you shoot at people long enough, someone will shoot back, and now you've got an enemy. It's a great system they've come up with. You know what I mean? But we're on to it. Black is white, white is black, sweet is sour. We're there. We're there, I'd have to say. I don't know what that means. Your words are so powerful. I don't know what that means, dude. Anna, I got your email. Adam and Eve made us renters instead of owners. Okay, that's one way to put it, but here's the deal. We had a pretty simple task. Take care of the garden until Jesus returns. That's the garden that we're watching them just burn up, destroy, and put data centers everywhere. We were supposed to tend the garden, and most of us don't even know how to plant the tree or take care of a plant. You know what I mean? I totally 100% agree. It's too late for that. It's too late for that because, I mean, you do something like that, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is. At any rate, Richie from Boston, you guys have a good night. And say your prayers, man. Ask God to guide you in word and deed, and listen to him, because when you pray, he answers. He answers a scumbag like me. I have to go back to the story every single solitary time. I'm crossing the country. I'm doing my thing. And I have a very attractive female YouTuber who's a Christian. But this Christian girl sure did want to drink a lot and do all, you know what I mean? Like, I was starting to catch on. It didn't take very long. And I was tempted, very tempted. And it was good to go. Easy peasy. And I seriously prayed to God, and I said, if I am making a huge mistake, can you please give me a sign? And I said, God, don't make it subtle. You know what I mean? Make it a billboard. 1 block later, I saw it, she saw it, I took pictures. A giant black and white billboard that said, you asked for an answer, God. If you pray, he answers. You just got to listen. And I'm out.